Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wealth and Wellness Network, the show that empowers women to reach their greatest income potential using wellness practices that promote prosperity. My name is Letitia Johnson, and I am your Wealth and Wellness Network host, author, speaker, and just totally excited, rocking young professional woman. And that voice you hear in the background is my lovely co-host, Lalanya. Say hi, Lala.
Good morning. I'm not as young, but I can still rock it. That's it.
You're young at heart. That's all that matters. And Lala is a certified personal trainer, life coach, mother of 4, and a rocking young professional woman as well. I don't care what she says. She's
in my mind. I'm, in my mind. That's all it has to be. Good morning, everybody.
Goodness. Good morning. As you all can hear, I'm super excited. I know I'm usually excited because we have our morning coffee, right?
We were just discussing it actually before the call. Yes, you're either over caffeinated or under caffeinated, but you can tell right away exactly how we are.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But this show is very special. Because not only will you hear from the two of us, but we get a chance to talk about some of the things that really piqued your interest and give some out of the feedback that you all have given us. We really appreciate the overwhelming responses, all of the thank yous, all of the excitement. We really appreciate all your feedback.
Thank you.
But you will not just be hearing from us too. You'll also be hearing from a person that's just like you, a listener, someone who's been able to have some benefit from listening to us crazy gals every week. So before we get started, let's just recap some of the phenomenal episodes we've had over the past few weeks. One of my favorites that I really, really enjoy, not just because obviously I was a speaker on it, but I got some nuggets from this one too, because it's something that I strive to get better at every single day. And one of the episodes that we had was invest in focus time. And that episode for me just really rocked my socks off. And we got a lot of feedback from so many women who was very impacted by this episode. And on this episode, it really talked about creating that daily schedule and making sure you implement the time needed in order to do the things that's necessary to propel you forward. Right.
Absolutely.
So, right, Lala? That was a rocking episode.
That was great because, we get so distracted. Our lives are really full. And even technology, La and I were joking prior to starting the call this morning about technology, right? We've got this and we've got that. It's like, well, I remember when the car phone and the only people who had them was Charlie's Angels, and I was like, yeah, I want to be them, right? Then the pager came out. And now we have electronics and we have all these this amazing technology at our fingertips, and sometimes it's our friend and sometimes it's complicated and it takes away our focus. So really diving in, and for me, I agree with you completely that I love obviously focus and focus time, really narrowing it down to those things that are important, but each show has helped me to realign at the same time, as we think about that, as we think about every single episode that we've had, and focus time is definitely one of them. It's like, well, what are those important pieces? What are those rocks in your life that you really want to take care of? Let's put the rocks first. And most of us have seen that jar, visual, right? Where if you put the sand in first, you put the water, you put the little things and you put the water, well, it's already full. If we put the rocks in first, those big things we need to focus in on, now we can put smaller pebbles in there, and then we can put sand, and then we can put water, and we can actually put all of these things in. But if we don't create that focus time and those key priorities of what it is that, those are the main things for today, for this week, we can easily go off track. And when things go off track, like that story about the woman with a pipe broke, right, in her basement, which we've all had those, we're able to more readily refocus and still get those little pebble things we have to do, and that sand and that water still within that jar, because we've learned how to do the focus. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I absolutely agreed. And someone who will really agree with you right now is my coach, because she just gave me this analogy early last week,
Mm.
and it helped put some things in perspective, because like I mentioned before we even really started to get into the topic, is it's something that you have to work towards daily and
Mhm.
really create that focus time. It's a skill that needs to be developed. And one of the things that I have been able to do is create kind of like this outline of what my day will look like. I recall in that episode talking about what my ideal morning is, in order for
Mhm.
me to make sure that I invest the time in me to really fill up my cup, so I can really help other people and do what I need to do throughout the day. So make sure that you're investing in your focus
Right.
time. And
Mhm.
go back to episode 3, which you're investing in your focus time, and get more tips about that. But another episode that just really was so impactful for a lot of people, we got a lot of feedback on it, was the compound effect. And
Yes, yes, yes,
that
yes.
episode, it was definitely life changing. And we cannot take credit for that term per se. But one of the books that I referred to in that episode was the book The Compound Effect, which is written by Darren Hardy. And it talks about how little habits over time create these massive impacts.
Mhm.
It's kind of like, let's use that example of just a penny a day, saving a penny a day. So if you put a penny in the day one, and you compound that and double it up every single day for 30 days, it ends up turning into over $1 million. Just, little strides that equal great results. It's something that a lot of times as women we have difficulty with, because we're always multitasking. We're used to doing a lot for other people, so we
And then
don't.
that talk now technology came in. I'm telling you right now.
Exactly. Distraction, right?
Yes.
But the little things that we do consistently over
Mhm.
time actually gets us to the place that we really would like to be. It helps us reach success, especially in business. I mean, Lala can explain this, even when it comes to her business.
Mhm.
But like for me, for example, I work with a lot of clients, and we talk about, saving and wealth building strategies and things like that. And a lot of times I hear that, oh well, I don't have a lump sum to invest right now, or I didn't start when I was 25, start investing in my retirement, those things. But it's not about that. It's about taking what you do have, that small little fraction of what it is, and start implementing that daily, consistently over time, and then you will
Mhm.
build that wealth. In the case of working with my clients, but it works in every area of your life,
Oh,
you would
yes.
say.
Fundamentally, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because everything we do when we're putting good things in is going to continue to compound on itself. So whether from a financial sort of, you know, space, right, about that little bit that you can do today. And the same with nutrition, the same with exercise. Nutrition, it's like what we feed ourselves is what we become. Even making those small differences in a year, for those that drink soda, for example, in a year, if you cut out soda, you will lose approximately 10 to 15 pounds of fat just from cutting soda out if you're a regular soda drinker. And
Mm.
that's kind of crazy too when you think about it. And then we think about sugars and all those pieces. Everything has a compound effect. And do what you can as you can to keep going. It's building those habits. I mean, for me, these episodes have been so great, not only to connect with my amazing, youthful, rockin' co-host here, and the creator and the vision behind this entire project, But, you know, as we go through each one, the compound effect of the nuggets that we're getting through the things that we've
Yes.
read, through the books,
Yes.
through the articles, and that we're working on ourselves in that compound effect as the hosts, as we are working at empowering you with the tools to do the same. The compound effect is a fluid effect that literally goes through everything we do all the time. We're doing
That's
it right
really
now.
good. That's really good. And it's so true. So if you want to get more details about the compound effect, what it is and how it can impact your life, make sure you go back to episode 5 and learn more about the compound effect with myself and Lala.
Absolutely.
So another episode that really impacted so many of our listeners was the episode where we talked about living your life abundantly. It was episode 7. And it talked a lot about, there you go. Hear it?
No.
Hey, so that's part of episode 7.
You know, we had this great time. I mean, I have to tell everyone right now, let me tell you that we are so excited about having our guest today, but we're so excited about you really becoming a part of what we do and infusing it, because I will tell you, the fun never stops here.
Never.
I mean, we pull it together to give you the content that we know is going to compound affect your life and give you the focus you need to have abundance. But I'm telling you right now, when as we go along and we are able to incorporate more of you literally with us, it's going to get silly and it's going to get real. And I'm just going to be straight up honest about that. And we just maybe play ourselves and listen to it just for the heck of it, because that's what we do. And that is abundant living. Wouldn't you say, Law? Because the truth is, abundance is about, sure, the financials and the comfort, but abundance is about feeling vibrant, feeling feeling empowered. It's an amazing word, abundance.
Absolutely.
Living in abundance, not in scarcity. Knowing that we can have fun. We can go, because we have an abundant, full life. What a great thing. What a great thing.
And it's so interesting that even though each episode varies from one another, that has been the consistent theme that we have brought about with this show, because at the end of the day, it's not about your finances alone. It's not about your fitness and your nutrition alone, but it's really ultimately about living abundantly. And the things that we teach and we discuss and we learn from one another is helping us get to that point in life where we can really have and experience abundance. And one of the ways we do that is through visualization. That was an episode where we talked a lot. We broke it down what creative visualization really is, because there's a difference between visualization and daydreaming. And a lot of people think that if they just think of what it could be like or what it would have been like, that they will get the things that they want. But that's not really what it is. There's a strategy behind it.
You need to see it, feel it. I mean,
and that's
really like it's happening right now. And that was the main piece. And, you know, even though we know that, even though Law and I, we know that, when we are even in that and we're, again, that compound effect, that focus, you know, that abundance, why does wealth and wellness work together synergistically? They work together because we are visualizing how all of those pieces come together and work together, because they truly do. But you need to feel it like it's happening right now.
Absolutely.
Like it's all right here. That joy, that abundance of right now is truly what that visualization is about.
And like you said, it's about feeling it, because there's a difference between just thinking of something out of the air, but really envisioning it. You know, vision boards are really good for that, because it helps you to see exactly what it could be like, seeing every detail, putting all the steps and thinking of the journey. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just, you know, thinking of, oh, I won $1 million, but just thinking about what you would do to acquire that, how you would give back, what your life would be like. What would you do? How would your mornings be? You know, really feeling the emotions connected to it. So then that way you subconsciously start to work towards that goal. So make sure you check out some of our make sure you check out the previous episodes. We're definitely going to keep giving
Yeah,
you some
what Law meant was
value.
be sure to check them all out. Go back, listen to them again as many times as you need to, and don't miss the
Yes.
next one. That's what you really meant to
Yes.
say.
Until you start to become
You breathe
who
it.
it is that you need to
Mm-hmm.
be.
You
But
breathe it, you walk it.
absolutely. But one episode that really stood out to us, because we had an overwhelming response by people like you, who've been listening in, who have, you know, not only maybe listen to us, but, you know, you're into self-development, you love
Mm-hmm.
to improve and things like that. But this particular episode really had a great impact on so many people. And myself and La we were elated just to hear from the
Yes.
feedback from a lot of our listeners. And when we had this episode, it was so interesting because it was only our second episode. And for me, and I'm sure the same for Lala, because we talk about it all the time, we thought of it, this was a dream of ours to make this happen and to
Mm-hmm.
really empower people.
We were
But this,
visualizing, working together,
yes,
doing this. Mm-hmm.
absolutely. But this, by just it was just it being our second episode, and seeing that we were on the right track, it
Yeah.
encouraged us.
Yeah.
So the episode I'm talking about is the one where we talked about our money story. And
Mm-hmm.
I love this so much because I talked about, you know, my personal experience with it, my story that I had as a child and how impactful it was for me. And I'm so excited to have a guest on our show who
Yes.
has been
Me
so
too.
impacted by
She's been
learning about the
patiently
money story.
waiting.
Yes, she has.
Yeah, you know, for me, this was great because, you know, we work with lots of different people as we go along. And this guest that we have today, which I'm so blessed that she was able to join us, is a client of mine and definitely someone I consider a friend. And it's great. It was great to hear her feedback, and everyone else's too, by the way. But she didn't know anything about it. She's like, oh, wait, wealth and wellness, okay. And she started listening in, and you know, we just want to thank you, Maureen Medved, for coming to the show this morning. Thank you so much.
Yay. Lala.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll continue.
Perfect.
Well, that's all we have for today. Make sure you join us next week and every Monday morning at 8 a.m.
Yes.
to learn more about how you can reach your greatest income potential using wellness practices that promote prosperity. Can't wait to see you next week.
See you next week. Have an amazing week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.